You're listening to They Shoot Films with Ken Mercer and FT Kosempa.
Hey there, everybody, and welcome back to another episode of They Shoot Films. My name is Ken Mercer, and I'm joined here, as always, with the great FT Kosempa. FT, how are you?
I am well and well rested, Ken. How are you doing?
I'm glad you're well rested because it's been some time off. If you folks listening out there missed the announcement from about 3 weeks ago, or I guess it's about a month ago now, They Shoot Films has gone from a bi-weekly show, meaning we were airing twice every month. We are now a monthly show, and this is the first show of the year 2026.
Yes.
Hard to believe, 2026.
I can't believe it. No monorails, no jet, floating cars. It's future's a disappointment.
It is unbelievable that when Stanley Kubrick made 2001: A Space Odyssey, 2001 seemed like such a far-fetched year in the future, and now here we are, a quarter of a century past that.
Yes. And no Howard Johnsons in the space station.
No Howard Johnsons anymore. That's
at all.
That's the irony.
Yes.
Funny how the future never works out how you plan.
No clam rolls. No. Yes.
I want to thank everybody for all your nice comments about understanding of the show going to a monthly show, and thanks for your comments in general. If you'd like to make a comment or have a question or a suggestion for They Shoot Films, or actually I can paraphrase Winston Churchill, if you want to make a criticism wrapped inside a comment, wrapped inside a criticism, you can do that at our website, which is at theyshootfilms.com. There's a place to make comments. You can leave a voice recording. If you look for a little microphone icon and click on that, you can leave a voice recording. But I did want to address one comment that we received, and that was from a commenter who seemed concerned and angry and said that they thought I was mean to FT. And so I'd like to set the record straight on the air, and I'm going to speak directly to you now, FT.
Yes.
I'm only mean to you because I think you're too soft, I'm trying to toughen you up because I don't want to see you get hurt.
Uh-oh, this is a quote from something I'm supposed to pick up on a movie.
No, it's not. That's me. That's me speaking to you.
That's just me.
Yes. Yes. Do you accept my
No.
My rationale for being mean to you?
No.
So would you prefer I don't be mean to you?
I don't know. That was sort of like tip the dynamic of the show. It's already so in favor of me. I don't know, man. Maybe I get all those sympathy votes like Walter Mondale. Poor Walter.
All right, I'm going to accept your apology, and
you're welcome.
We can move on.
Yes.
Thank you for being understanding.
I release you.
Yes.
Yes.
This episode's film, in case you didn't glance at the title, in case you're such
me, are you talking to me?
Yes, to you and to those our most avid listeners who just turned on the podcast without even looking to see if it was a film they were interested in.
Right.
This episode's film is the 2019 film directed by Josh and Benny Safdie, otherwise known as the Safdie Brothers. And it's been working very well on this podcast, FT, when I ask you why we've chosen this film. Why do you think we've chosen this film, Uncut Gems?
You know what? I have no idea, except for the prevalence. Well, we can start talking about why the film is remarkable in many ways. But it's also, it centers on gambling, and gambling seems to be all over in my sports watching. Gambling this, gambling that.
But why did we pick that for this podcast episode, FT, is the question.
I don't know why we picked that. Because why? Why, Ken?
To be topical, because the big film would cash in on topicality whenever it can.
Cha-ching. Yes.
And so the reason we selected it is because Josh Safdie's film Marty Supreme was released for the holiday season and got a lot of critical acclaim and did some good box office. The Safdie brothers, Josh and his brother Benny, are no longer writing and directing together. They've gone their separate ways. And so Josh's film Marty Supreme came out, and we thought it would be a good reason to revisit the brothers' 2019 film Uncut Gems.
Yes.
But there was another reason that I personally was in favor of doing Uncut Gems, and that was as a favor to FT, as a way to kind of make up for being so mean to him all the time. And that reason was that FT is a huge basketball fan. Are you not, FT?
I'm an average-sized basketball fan.
What the fuck is it with you Jewish niggas and basketball anyway?
Well, because Fred Flintstein was made the first basket in 1946, as far as I know. That is a good question, by the way. That is a good question. It's interesting.
It is.
A lot of Jewish guys I know,
Yes.
when I lived in New York, were basketball like maniacs.
Yes.
Especially those Knick fans. Some Net fans, too, actually. Yes.
The New York Times did a list of the best films of the century. We've talked about that before. Uncut Gems. Do you think it made that? This was the list done by directors, filmmakers, critics. Do you think Uncut Gems made that list, FT?
I think we've been down this road before, my friend, and I think the answer is not only did it make it, but it made it to the top.
This is why people think I'm mean to you. It's not that I'm mean to you.
You're so stupid.
No, it's mean to you. You're mean to yourself because you keep trying to adjust and learning from history, and yet you're doomed to repeat it. So yes, you're in fact right that it was on the list, but it was not at the top of the list. No, it was number 58.
Oh, right. It was the other one, that slow-moving one that was right by Ackerman, right? That was a surprise that was on the top.
Chantal Ackerman, yes.
And how could I confuse those two? You know what I mean?
Yes. Also Uncut Gems was added to the Criterion Collection, spine number 1101.
Nice.
The director, playwright, Kenneth Lonergan, you're familiar with him?
I sure am.
Director of Manchester by the Sea, an excellent film, I think.
What's the young woman? The one,
Margaret.
Margaret. Yeah, that's fantastic.
Yes, that's Ken Lonergan.
Yes.
And
what did he say?
I heard him at on a DGA panel, Directors Guild panel with the Safdie brothers, and he told the story of taking his wife to see Uncut Gems, and said that his wife said that it was like having a 2-hour and 15-minute anxiety attack.
Interesting. Vincent Canby said of Mikey and Nicky by Elaine May, it was like having a 3-hour anxiety attack. It's true. The same term was used.
Really? Well, there's as Bill Shakespeare once said, there's nothing new under the sun. I'd like to start out reading some other quotes about Uncut Gems from various critics. Quote, I suffered from more concentrated physical anxiety over the course of this movie than I had in maybe the entire year, yet somehow I loved it. Here's another quote.
Are you giving names to or these are just random quotes you may have made up?
I don't have names in it, but I did not make them up. These are actual quotes.
All right. Actual quotes.
Here's another quote. I spent over 2 hours begging Howard Ratner to stop doing two things. The first was obsessively, hilariously saying, KG, any chance he got. The second was anything he did at any time, anywhere with almost anybody. I want to start saying FT like that. FT. Hey, FT.
Look at this, FT. Yes.
And finally, the New York Times, arguably one of the most anxiety-inducing movies of the century so far. Question for you, FT.
Yes.
Is Uncut Gems the most stressful movie ever made, in your opinion? Stress-inducing.
It's up there. I mean, I remember my original reaction to it when I saw it last year or months ago was I couldn't stand it. I couldn't stand it for, that was one of the reasons. It was just so nonstop, what can go wrong will go wrong, and it goes wrong over, and then it goes wrong within going wrong.
Yes.
It was insane.
Yeah.
And yet another case in our, our journey here about film. Here's another case where the second, and I did watch this even again a third time.
Wow.
I just sitting there going once, it just wore off the anxiety. And that the Adam Sandler character, he's brilliant in this. It's just he's not. I was just able to take it more and actually enjoy the movie as a fine film. But the first time, horrible.
Even though when you listen back to this on tape, I think you'll wonder, why do I sound so anxious?
Yes.
Yeah. So is it just because of what can go wrong, will go wrong, or are there more cinematic techniques going on that induce that anxiety?
Oh, yeah, of course.
Like what? Like what?
Well, the handheld camera, the obvious homage to Cassavetes, the overlapping soundtrack, the writing about just how quickly things happen, how things are piled in together, and those scenes inside the office. I mean, his store. I mean,
Yes.
Both of them, when KG comes the first time. Hey, KG, got something to show you. I'll do those earrings for you for nothing, for free, KG.
Yeah.
I did a good Adam Sandler there, didn't I?
Excellent. Almost as good as your Chris Walken impersonation.
Wow. Yes.
Yeah, and obviously you didn't say it probably because you thought it was so obvious, but the editing. The pace of the editing is relentless, and the way they pace, the way the cuts will, the cuts grow shorter and tighter as the anxiety is meant to progress in the audience. And as you said, the dialogue, there's so much overlapping dialogue.
Oh, are you serious? You like that? There it is. That's how it scares the shit out of people. Look at that.
It's a fucking older model, but it's dope.
Listen, this shit was slamming.
What's the length on that? Right. Let me see the chain on that.
That's an 18. I can get you 14. KJ, Doc know you're here, by the way?
No, he doesn't. And let's keep it that way, all right?
It's game night. You should be stretching out.
Look at this thing, man.
I was just about to say, what is he, a coach?
Nah, he's just a fucking crazy ass Jew.
The directors were so deliberate in that I heard them talking about in the jewelry store. They actually went back and did a lot of ADR, which is automatic dialogue replacement for the background characters, because they wanted the lines and the dialogue of those people talking in the background to be clear and distinct, and to be able to mix it very carefully with the actual characters who are on camera speaking.
Right. Which jewelry store scene are you talking about, Ken?
This would be the specific. I mean, they used it throughout, but specifically
right.
the first scene where Kevin Garnett comes into Howard's store and sees the opal.
And sees the opal. Right.
Yeah.
Okay. And the Furby.
Yeah, and that's very different, because usually. Even you may not even record your background extras making any noise, and you may just have the sound mixer put in background dialogue when you're mixing the film. But in this case, they encouraged the background actors to actually be talking while they were shooting and recording sound, and then, like I said, went back and actually re-recorded all that background dialogue to make it distinct.
Interesting. The other thing, since we're on sound quickly, the other thing I noticed how they were dealing with the mix was there would be points when all this chaos with the background and the foreground and all that, then all of a sudden it would slow down, and it would and you would hear one weird thing. And what comes to mind is when the doctor, after reporting the colonoscopy, he goes, after all this chaos, he goes, "Okay, Howard, I'm hanging up now,"
right.
Because he's been on the phone the entire time.
Yeah.
It went down and then it came right back up. You didn't notice it, but it was brilliant. It was really, really well done.
Yeah. Apparently this deliberate effect by the Safdies really pissed off Eric Bogosian, and but again, it worked. It worked to the effect of the film, and they talked specifically about the scene where outside the school play where Arno and his guys kidnap Howard and throw him into the SUV. I think that was Eric Bogosian's first day of shooting, and again, the Safdies have been telling everybody, don't stop and let somebody else say their line. Just you keep talking, and and you have to cut in. And so Eric Bogosian's in the front seat, and the three guys are in the back, and Bogosian can't say his lines, and he apparently really started screaming, what the fuck? What you guys say? And. But that, again, was perfect for Bogosian's performance as captured in the SUV, that he was so pissed off at the other actors and the directors.
Yeah, interesting. That was an interesting scene. We're going to talk about that in some specifics, because there's just one thing that it reminds me of. When I mentioned earlier about Cassavetes, there's a scene in Killing of a Chinese Bookie, the 78 version, where this was...
Sorry, I didn't know there were two versions multiple. There's multiple versions of that?
Yeah. There's a 76 version that's about 2.5 hours long, and he cut a half hour of it because Gazzara, among other things, said he didn't like the first cut.
Interesting.
Yes. Point is that this is one of the cases where it's superior to what Cassavetes did, and a similar thing in A Car with Hoods. This really had a lot more. Plus, you could see it. That was my point. Yeah. It was well shot.
Yeah, and the Safdies have acknowledged a great admiration for the films of John Cassavetes, and also their votes for the Sight and Sound, the British Film Institute's annual poll of the greatest films ever. They voted for, I think, Gloria, the Cassavetes film, and Husbands. They voted for.
They voted Gloria?
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah.
And when I say they, it was one or the other of the brothers, not to lump them completely together.
It's like us.
Exactly. Hard to tell where I end and where you begin.
Where my eyeball begins. Yes.
How would you try to rank where do you said this is one of the most anxiety inducing, stressful films you think ever. Can you name some other ones for UFT?
Not off the top of my head. There are. But, how about you? Maybe get this...
get the ball rolling.
Rosemary's Baby was kind of, a different kind of anxiety there.
Yeah. Although Rosemary's Baby...
It wasn't hectic,
Right. And there were lots of pauses and places to take a breath, which... deliberately, I think in Uncut Gems, there's no place to take a breath. It just accelerates and gets worse and worse and more chaotic as it goes along. Some films I was thinking about, the Paul Greengrass film United 93.
Yes.
Again, feels...
I can see that one.
Feels like that. I haven't seen it in quite a while, but Das Boot, the German...
I never saw it.
Really?
Yeah, I never saw that.
Well, I think you said you wouldn't. You haven't seen it because the idea of watching it made you too anxious. The claustrophobia of the submarine, right?
No, Run Silent, Run Deep. I watched, isn't that with Bert and No, I don't think I said that.
The Revenant.
But anxiety is in the psyche of the beholder, so to speak.
Yeah.
Because The Shining I found to be again a different kind of film, and not relying, like as I said with Rosemary's Baby, it's not stylistically at all like the Uncut Gems, but there's just that very any sort of also. For me, horror movies make me anxious. I just get anxious,
by design.
Of course.
But I think there's a difference.
Yes.
The Shining, again, that anxiety is because of suspense. The feeling that something bad is going to happen, and the sense of foreboding. Whereas this is bad things just keep happening.
Yes.
You're just
piled on.
You're just punched in the face with these bad things happening, and this sensory overload and the cacophony of New York, and again, everybody talking all at once, and not just the gambling stuff, but having Howard's wife, on Passover, I want to make this work again. I'm sorry, I fucked up. I know I fucked up, and I forget what her line is there, but
I know what.
Your face is so stupid.
Okay. Okay.
God.
I'm gonna leave her. I'll leave her. I don't need her. We're done. We're done.
Okay.
It's done. It was stupid. She's trash. She's trash. I know that. It was stupid. I'm done. I'm done. It means nothing. It meant nothing. Please. I'm begging you. Just give me another shot.
You know what, Howard?
Say yes. What?
I think you are the most annoying person I have ever met. I hate being with you. I hate looking at you. And if I had my way, I would never see you again.
It's because you're mad. You're mad, and it makes sense. You can punch me if you want.
Oh, thanks.
Hey, I was ready for it.
I don't even want to touch you.
And that's one of my favorite, it's a great scene because she gives him the sucker punch, or she, goes to punch him and he backs away. And her line is, I don't even want to touch you.
Right.
But, to punch him would be to touch him.
Yes.
Yes.
So again,
so
it's just
great.
It's just insults, know, and
one after the next. Yeah.
Yeah. No, he's been stripped naked, put into a trunk, the trunk of the car outside his daughter's school. So I think horror movies operate a little bit differently.
Of course,
but again, trying to list some stress-inducing films. Abel Ferrara's Bad Lieutenant,
yes,
which again the Safdies are big fans of Abel Ferrara. Abel Ferrara plays a part in Josh Safdie's Marty Supreme. Bad Lieutenant. I remember taking my very young daughter to see it. Why are you laughing?
Great choice.
No. So
was it Bambi or Bad Lieutenant?
No, I was
both begin with B.
I was taking her to see a Disney movie, and this theater, this theater near our town was what do you call it? What would you call a theater that has two screens? There's a term for it. It's by something. What is it?
I don't know.
By screenical?
Yeah, exactly.
By movical? So it was a two-screen theater. It was originally a one-screen theater. It had been split into two theaters now. Last time I went by it, it's like 12 theaters, the size of a Volkswagen Bug.
Yes.
And so I was taking her to see this Disney movie. It was Sunday late afternoon, and as we're walking up to the ticket box, this other father with a daughter comes out, and the kid is just screaming, crying, and
you go, that's for us.
No, and I look out and I didn't know. I was taking her to see the Disney movie, and I saw the other, there was a poster for the Bad Lieutenant, and clearly this other father, maybe as I projected it, a divorced father who had visitation rights, and this was the weekend, the Sunday with the kid.
Yes.
Took the kid to see Bad Lieutenant.
Just to get that's So wait a second, where did you take your daughter?
I took her to see the Disney movie, but it's interesting. I could see Howard Ratner after if he had lived. Spoiler alert, as every They Shoot Films podcast is, it's full of spoilers. So if you haven't seen Uncut Gems, you may want to watch it first. If Howard Ratner had lived and got divorced from his wife, I could see him taking his young child to Bad Lieutenant, and it's interesting. Yeah,
the boy.
It's interesting because Daddy Longlegs is they're one of their I think their second feature is about a father who has to take care of their kids and does a bad job. A divorced father has to take care of the kids for.
It's their dad too, isn't it?
It was kind of based on it. From what I've read.
Yeah, remember Travis Bickle takes Sybil Shepherd to a porn film. Remember, and Taxi Driver also.
Yes.
That's it's like classy.
Well, it's interesting because that one of the Safdies had voted Taxi Driver for the BFI Sight and Sound list. And that I can't remember now, but that dialogue in Taxi Driver after Sybil Shepherd walks out of the theater, and they're in the out front of the theater, and he's like, I don't understand. I see a lot of couples
walking into this movie. Yes.
Should we start out as you usually like us to do, FT, with the origins of Uncut Gems? Origins meaning how the film came to become a film.
origins being other than that. No. Yes, I would love to. How did this happen?
I think we need to, again, start out with the Safdie brothers, who are biological brothers. They grew up in Manhattan, which, for those of you not from Manhattan,
New York, Manhattan, New York.
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah, New York City.
Yes.
I was about to say, for those of you not from New York, that's a significant thing, because in a city of 8 million people plus, there aren't that many kids that you get to meet who actually grew up in New York City.
In Manhattan, you mean?
In Manhattan.
I've met plenty, but
And I know the new mayor Mondami is trying to change that and make it into a family-friendly city. But the Safdie brothers grew up in New York City. They were Jewish, and I point that out just because I feel like this is a specifically Jewish film.
yes.
I think, like my father, who is Jewish, as I am, I think didn't like this movie. It feels, if it was not done by Jews, I think it would be labeled anti-Semitic, I think.
Not anti-Semitic, but not favorably, yes. Playing up to cliches, that kind of thing. Yeah,
Yes.
I didn't feel it's anti-Semitic.
I did as a Jew. As a Jew, I felt it was anti-Semitic. It kind of,
Because it portrayed a cliche, explain. Why would it be anti-Semitic?
Well, okay. So maybe I'm using the word wrong, but as a Jew, I feel like I'm entitled to use that word wrong. in a way that you are not. You as a Gentile don't get to define anti-Semitic.
Not just a Gentile, but of Polish extraction. The worst of the worst. Yes.
Yeah, as you said, I think you said it. It was not flattering to Jews, and I think if it was done by, let's say, a white supremacist,
John Voight,
right, by John Voight, people would be going nuts. Thank you, FT. Well said, my friend.
Thank you.
So they grew up in New York City. They started making, and I think one of them, I always get them mixed up. One of the brothers started making films before the others, the older brother potentially, and then they started making independent films in New York City, short films, very much, as we talked about, influenced by Cassavetes and early Scorsese. They were always trying to shoot on the streets, real, stealing shots, so setting up cameras in businesses and filming until they got kicked out. Their first film was called The Pleasure of Being Robbed, and the reviewer in Slant Magazine said, quote, "A preeminent example of what happens when filmmaking tools become accessible to people with nothing to say." And it actually started out as a short film that was commissioned by Kate Spade and her husband, Andy Spade. Are you familiar with the Spades, FT?
No.
I think most of our listeners probably are. Kate Spade is a very successful handbag designer and has boutiques all over. Her husband, Andy, is an ad person, copywriter, and he is the brother of David Spade, who you no doubt know, right, FT?
Is that an actor?
Actor, comedian David Spade, yes. Saturday Night Live. You
No, I don't know.
Okay.
James Spader. I know James Spader.
Okay. And again,
You're going to be nice. Be nice.
No, this is why it's so unfair. I didn't do anything.
Be nice.
People are going to say I was mean to you, and you were the one who doesn't know who David.
I want people to make a comment if you knew who. What's her name? Spade.
Kate Spade.
Kate Spade.
Yeah.
When you said most people, you snuck there. You go, well, most people will know who Kate Spade is.
Sorry, most Jewish people. Most Jewish people is what I meant to say.
The Chosen.
So it actually started out as a short film commissioned by Kate and Andy Spade to be used to promote the Kate Spade business. I actually have a Andy Spade story, if you'd like to hear it.
I would.
So when I had my advertising agency, we hired a guy. I have to figure out how to tell this so it doesn't out to anybody, even though they probably deserve to be outed. When I had first started an ad agency, one of our first hires was a art director who had worked at an agency in New York City. We were in San Francisco, and we hired him because of one ad in his portfolio that we loved. And that happens a lot. You hire somebody maybe just because one great ad. We hired this guy, and then probably 6 months later, my partner in the ad agency and myself are in New York City at a big advertising award show. And we're in this big theater, and they're showing, there's an announcer on the stage and a big screen showing everything. And the ad comes up that we hired this guy for. And my partner and I are so excited because, we had hired this guy. Now he works for us. He, won this gold medal at this award show. And then they put up the writer and the art director
and it wasn't
credits. His name, the guy we had hired, was not credited.
Oh, my God.
That's kind of what we were thinking. And we're like, uh-oh. But let's give this guy, we got to give him the benefit of the doubt. So the writer who was credited was Andy Spade, and who now know who Andy Spade is. And so I knew the head of the ad agency that Andy Spade worked for in New York. I called him and I said, hey, is it cool if I call Andy Spade with this question? He said, yeah, absolutely. I call Andy Spade and I said, hey, here's the situation. And we're just trying to figure out what to do. And I know this is odd. And this is not about taking any credit away from you.
Right.
We're not going to do that. But just tell me, between us, did this guy, we'll call him Joe, work on the ad? And Andy Spade says, no.
Not at all, right.
And I said, okay. Well, I know, credit is a weird thing. And again, this is not going to go anywhere. Was he in the room when you wrote this ad? No. Okay.
Wow.
Was he maybe outside in the hallway when you wrote the ad? No. And so the guy had nothing to do with this
He stole
ad.
it. Oh, wow.
He just
nice.
completely stole it from Andy Spade, who is somehow connected to Uncut Gems now. But we better get back to this. We better get back to the Safdies.
We better hurry up and get back. Yes.
Their fourth film. Their fourth feature film was called Good Time, and that was where they really got noticed.
Yes.
And part of the reason they got noticed, it starred Robert Pattinson. That's the first time they had worked with a movie star. Benny Safdie played Robert Pattinson's brother. You've seen Good Time, have you not, FT?
Oh, heck yeah.
Yeah.
Great film.
I agree.
I still think it's my favorite over this one even. I think that's, there's more to it for me.
Yeah, I haven't rewatched it in a while, but I'm kind of with you in that. But the roots of the way Uncut Gems works is in
there.
Good Time is also relentlessly
Yes.
anxiety, and what can go wrong will go wrong.
Yes.
Also in that.
But technically, it's lighter. I mean, there is some daylight, literally, in that film. You know what I
Right.
mean, not much. I mean, it's still pretty gritty, and Lower East Side kind of thingy.
Right.
Yeah.
Now, in terms of Uncut Gems, they had
Yes.
actually had the script developed way before Good Time, and they actually had it written 10 years before they got to shoot it. So,
Jesus.
yeah, and they just, they couldn't get the budget to get it made, and they wrote it specifically for Adam Sandler.
I believe it.
And they could not get to Adam Sandler. They didn't have an agent. And then when they got an agent and they could get to Adam Sandler, they just heard no. And so again, it took them 10 years, and they did 160 drafts of the script.
Jesus. 160 drafts.
It's interesting to kind of give you a sense of where they were before Good Time. They went on Reddit and did an Ask Us Anything. Are you familiar with an Ask Me Anything or Ask Us Anything?
No.
Okay, people will go on Reddit and say, it's called AME or AMA, Ask Me Anything, and
Yes.
it's and people can ask a celebrity questions. So Josh and Benny Safdie in 2015. So again, gives you kind of an insight to where, they were trying to get to Adam Sandler around 2015. They'd been doing it for years. And this is from Reddit in 2015. They went on Reddit and did an Ask Us Anything. And it started out by saying, "We are Josh and Benny Safdie. independent filmmakers of heaven knows what, Lenny Cook, Daddy Longlegs, and The Pleasure of Being Robbed. Ask us anything. And again, this is archived, but there were so few participants that they ended up winding it down after it goes on, there's maybe 10 interchanges, and then they're like, okay, we better wind this down now. But there was one interchange that I thought was interesting, and I'd like to recount it now if I might.
You may.
Okay, so somebody asked him on Reddit, and again, this was
Yes.
as directors.
Yes.
One Redditor asked, what's the most disappointing thing you could fill a piñata with?
Yes.
Benny Safdie answered, another piñata. And Josh Safdie answered, semen. And then they wound down the Ask Us Anything.
Okay, good. So did Adam Sandler see this?
No, but it gives you. But again, they're trying to get to
Right.
Adam Sandler, and there's people on Reddit don't even know who they are.
Right.
And
they're like nobodies.
so after Good Time, well, two things happened. One, that before Good Time came out, Marty Scorsese came on board as a producer of Uncut Gems. And then Good Times came out, and since it had Pattinson in it, a star, then Sandler's agents were like, "Oh, okay, these guys worked with stars. Okay, what do we, and brought it to Sandler." The irony is, when the agents brought it to Sandler, he responded to, I think it was Daddy Longlegs. Their earlier film is what got him interested in doing Uncut Gems.
Huh.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Is it known that he read the script and just didn't like it?
Oh no, he didn't. No, he never. He couldn't. They couldn't get through the agents.
All right, so he had no idea, right?
Yeah, the only
right.
way they got through the agents is when they did Good Times with Robert Pattinson.
Right, gotcha.
Then when they finally go to Sandler, the irony is he actually liked a film that they had done years ago when they were trying to get to him and couldn't get through the agents.
Interesting.
Another that's what we called Hollywood irony.
Hollywood ironing. Yes.
Interesting. They tried to get it done with Sacha Baron Cohen. Actually, did readings of it.
I could see that.
But they felt it did not work with him. And then they tried to do it. I think it was Marty's suggestion, because Marty had worked with him in Wolf of Wall Street. Tried to do it with Jonah Hill, and the Safdies said they couldn't really make it work for them having the character be that young as Jonah Hill.
I could see that.
Yeah.
I could see that. Yep.
So they got Uncut Gems made, which allows us to now try to ponder the question, now that it's made, now that we've seen it, what genre would you say Uncut Gems falls into, FT?
I don't know. Is it gambling? Is there a gambling?
Yeah, I think good one.
It's the gambling, the same genre as Killing of a Chinese Bookie. The gambler owes money to the mob.
Yes.
That genre. Yes.
Yeah, it definitely fits into the gambling films genre. You said Killing of a Chinese Bookie. Any other gambling films that are close to your heart or that you want to bring up?
That I can remember, you mean?
That you can remember.
I can mention. Mississippi Grind, I believe. That's one that you recommended to me, which I liked quite a bit.
Yeah, Mississippi Grind was one I had on my list here. And I forget who the directors of that were. That was, I think they're actually a husband and wife team who did Mississippi Grind. Not that well known of a film, but should be more well known with Ryan Gosling and the great Ben Mendelsohn, the Australian actor. And it plays very much like, in terms of the story, very much like this film does.
It does.
But I feel like it's easier to watch.
Yes. Well, the pacing is different. Absolutely.
Yeah.
It's more traditional Hollywood style.
And it's interesting because at Mississippi Grind, the writer-director James Toback makes a cameo appearance at the end, and he, of course, did one of the classic gambling films called The Gambler with James Caan. Toback was the writer of that. Why are you laughing?
The classic gambling film called The Gambler.
Yeah, and not to be confused with the film called The Gambler starring Kenny Rogers, or the song The Gambler.
Or The Gambling.
By Kenny Rogers.
Yes.
Also, Robert Altman, who the Safdies are great fans of, did a film called California Split.
I never saw that. Yeah.
And it's interesting. Well, before we move on, we get too far down the line with that. So you think it fits? I asked you what genre the film fits into, and you said the gambling film. I'll accept that, but more than that,
I will. Yeah, I will modify that. Gambling addiction film.
Well, I think they all. I think all gambling films are gambling addiction films. Can you think of a gambling film that's not a gambling addiction film?
Hard Eight.
Yeah.
Ding. I mean, maybe there's one.
Well, I want to. So hold that thought. We're going to come back to it. I'm going to answer unless you don't want to give me a shot at answering what genre. We can just.
You mean I would never be mean to you, Ken?
Thank you, Frank. which just encourages. Which it just makes me seem meaner when you do that. Very Machiavellian.
Yes.
Yeah, I think it fits squarely in the genre of classical tragedy. I mean, this film is the definition of tragedy, and if you define it as the protagonist brings about his own downfall.
He shot himself in the head?
But he
egged him on. Yes. Yeah, he couldn't read the situation
He certainly brought about his own downfall. He might as well have shot. He would have saved himself a lot of pain and suffering if he had shot himself in the face earlier.
First 5 minutes, you mean? Yes.
But since you brought up Hard Eight, the Paul Thomas Anderson film, which we did back on this podcast. If you haven't heard it, you might want to go back to that one. Yep. It's interesting, and directed by Paul Thomas Anderson, who the Safdies are also big fans of, and Hard Eight features Philip Baker Hall as a character named Sidney, who's a lifetime career gambler.
Yes.
And you said that film is not about compulsive gambling, and I'm glad you brought that up because it points out exactly what's the core of Howard's fatal flaw with his gambling, and it's illuminated by Sidney in Hard Eight, who we see, and we talked about it on that podcast. Sidney is completely controlled in his gambling. And I think we had kind of a big fight on that podcast, which you're not going to want to miss, about Sidney's gambling style. And when he bet on Hard Eight at the craps table, I pointed out how unlike Sidney that was, and Frank took the
opposite.
I was going to say stupid opposite argument.
The brilliant and insightful.
I don't want to be accused of being mean. And again, Sidney was always betting on the smart odds and betting just enough to not hit it big, not try to win $1 million, but just to keep enough alive to win enough that he could keep getting comped and live for free as a gambler.
All right. Let's
forever.
cut to the chase here. What are you saying?
Now Howard, on the other hand, is not a controlled gambler. No.
Right.
How would you characterize Howard's betting style, FT?
Magic realism, something like that. But he believes in the magic of things, but more inspiration.
No, but again, I'm asking about his betting strategy.
I don't know, none.
No, he follows the martingale strategy.
What is the martingale strategy, Ken?
Well, okay, I thought you'd never ask. The martingale betting strategy is the only known betting strategy I'm aware of where you're guaranteed to win. But the caveat is the gambler has to have an unlimited source of funds. And so martingale betting strategy, which is Howard's strategy, is you double down after every loss. And mathematically, if you work that out, you're guaranteed to win. But the problem is the risk of ruin, as it's known in probability, is that if you run out of money before you will get wiped out.
Right. So what's the rationale for saying you're guaranteed to win? Because of the idea that you have infinite unlimited funds. You double down, double your bet, and then if you have unlimited funds, eventually you're going to win and win big.
Yes.
If you have unlimited funds, which nobody has. Although some people do, relatively unlimited.
No, I mean,
Right,
no.
right,
It
right.
it has to be infinite funds for it to work. But Howard, even though he does not have infinite funds and has no funds other than being able to pawn rings and
Yes.
back and forth, he's not equipped to be doing this martingale strategy. And again, the risk of ruin in this strategy is high. And in fact, that's what happens to Howard.
Yes. Well, actually, it doesn't, technically.
Right. Good point.
I mean,
Yes.
it doesn't.
Yes.
I mean, the ruin
Yes.
is not because of the gambling. Well, it is because of the gambling, but he wins.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyhow.
Well, the irony is he won twice.
Yes, he did, and he won big twice. Yeah.
Yeah, the bet he laid down with Gary, he won, but Arno
Canceled.
made him
Yeah.
cancel the bet.
Jesus, that was a real turnaround, man. Talk about the pushing and the pulling in this entire, oh my God.
But in terms of upping the stakes at each turn,
Yes.
that, as you said, when he wins big and he's so excited about the big bet he put down with Gary, and only to find out that Arno canceled the bet, the audience is. And again, the moment that he finds out the bet is canceled is the worst possible moment because he's in the back seat with these guys who are going to beat the crap out of him.
And strip him naked and yeah.
All right, listen, I did, I admit it. I made a bet, and guess what? Here's the thing, I hit the bet big.
You think I'm stupid? You think I'm stupid? You think I'm stupid, Howard? You and your whole fucking family.
I'll call the book right now. You get on the phone with him, he'll tell you.
I saw the bookie. You talking about Gary?
You spoke to Gary about what? About what?
You. About how you're taking my money all over town, placing bets. You know what that does to me? Do you know how offensive that is to me?
What? You stopped the bet?
What do you think, asshole?
You stopped the bet? Shut the fuck up! Congratulations, Arno! You fucked ourselves out of you, motherfucker! You fucked us up! Fuck this shit!
Take his clothes off.
So it's tough for the audience to experience that. But again, in script writing,
Perfect.
upping the ante, the next time it happens, he wins super big.
Yeah.
But then, of course, loses his life.
Gets killed, you mean?
Yeah.
The expression "loses your life." I'm looking around for it.
Yeah. It's like in financial planning. When they talk about planning retirements, instead of saying that the money will last until the person dies, they say that the money will last until the end of retirement, until retirement ends.
Yeah, but that's not true either because you can get a job. Anyhow,
Okay.
Yes.
Right.
Yes.
Yes.
Actually, Richard Strauss wrote some of his best music after he had, quote, retired.
Okay.
The 4 last songs. Anyway,
and sorry, just spoiler
He's a
alert.
Nazi.
On the next episode, the comment we're going to address, a listener had wrote in complaining that FT was too literal. So we're gonna address that comment on the next show.
Perfectly literal. Literally literal. Yes, go ahead.
Why don't we go to the opening scene of the film in the Ethiopian
which I
diamond mine.
Which I forgot on the second.
Okay, well,
yeah, amazing. Yes.
Well, you forgot it, and my question is, was that scene necessary? And it was very expensive to shoot. It was shot on location in South Africa. They couldn't shoot in Ethiopia. Is that scene really necessary?
No, but I liked it. It just gave you ground for when he drops the remark later on, 17 months of work. Showed the hard labor. Plus, it echoed with what was it, Billy Freakin movie we saw? It was just with the person getting killed.
Very good, FT. Go ahead.
What? Sorcerer.
Okay,
just with
no,
the.
no, that's not what. No.
No, what were you thinking?
Well, think about it. There's a Billy Friedkin movie that starts out in the desert with a prologue scene before we get to Washington D.C. and I think this Uncut Gems is definitely a nod to the Friedkin film I'm talking about.
I don't know what that is. Which film?
It's The Exorcist. The Exorcist starts out
right.
It starts out in in the Middle East in this desert where they're doing this archaeological dig, and then you cut to present day Washington D.C. And it's interesting because I think there should be some comparisons to the Safdie's filmmaking and Billy Friedkin's filmmaking in that he was another one where the films are so, you admire the films and they're seen as great films, but they're hard to sit through. I've never been able to rewatch The Exorcist. We've talked about that before. And his latter day film, Killer Joe with Matthew McConaughey is so powerful, but it's a lot like this in that it's unrelenting and very tough to sit through.
Yes. And then when I mentioned, and if I forgot it, the one that occurs in the trailer or in that house. Oh my God, I forget the name of it. Anyhow,
are you thinking about Bug? You mean?
Yes.
Okay.
Oh my God, right. Jesus. Yeah. Yes. Yeah. You're right. There's an anxiety-provoking film. This is good. It's funny because I associated that with the hurt employee. It starts with the grueling conditions and Sorcerer, grueling conditions. And this one, that's what struck me. I'm like, there's a hurt employee, which is the distraction for the two fellows to go back into the mine. Yeah. Plus, if you didn't have this, you wouldn't have the fantastic void shots. Right. That film.
Yeah.
Didn't you try to do a remake of that? Didn't you do a remake of Fantastic
I did. It was one
Voyage?
of my first films as a 7 or 8 year old child. I did a remake of the film The Fantastic Voyage, and
so I set that one up for you, buddy.
Yeah, no, thanks for reminding me, because I am going to have that remastered. It's still on Super 8. I've never transferred it to digital, and it's
man,
there's some classic.
I'll bet.
Yes.
I
want to talk about the glass entryway.
Doorway, the automatic door?
Well, the cubicle, the foyer.
Foyer.
Yeah, where they the locking foyer, as symbol, and again that is glass.
Yes.
And this film, one of the things I think this film is about is the notion of control.
Yeah.
The notion of humans thinking Howard always thinks he's smarter. He thinks he's in control of all these situations. I think as the audience, we see that his control is shaky at best. And I think that entryway, that glass entryway, points out the shakiness of his control as it malfunctions left and right and never seems to work right.
You mean when it doesn't work?
Well, again, I think that the entryway, and we're going to talk about it a little more in a second, is the symbol of one of the symbols of Howard's control, and we can see right from the beginning it's shaky because sometimes it opens, sometimes it doesn't open, and that gets it to there's an irony I think about the ending, about this whole notion of control. Is Howard has the guys his antagonist locked in this.
Say it, foyer.
the foyer.
Yes. Yes.
And he's so happy, and he thinks he's in control. He's got these guys trapped, but step back and think about it. He's more trapped than they are. He can't go anywhere.
As trapped, yes.
Yeah. Or more so. I mean, he can't get out. Yeah. Okay. Yes. So I think there's an irony there about the that entryway. But as you said, glass, and because the entryway is echoed in another symbol in the film. Do you know what I'm thinking of, FT?
I do not. What?
The fish tank, which is another glass rectangle.
Right.
And again, it's nicely used for. Foreshadowing there when there's literally blood in the water when they pour the red Gatorade into that fish tank.
Powerade, yes.
Yeah.
Whatever.
Sorry, one of our future sponsors.
Yes.
Yeah.
Product placement here at They Shoot Films. University of Florida, buddy. Gators.
Yeah. But again, that fish tank is an echo of these people, trapping, containing people in glass objects.
Well, these gems are all forms of glass anyhow. I mean, garnet is a glass, as he points out. You're a jewel, but it's glass all over the joint.
Yes. Let's go to the auction house scene if we might.
Yes, the auction house
What'd you
scene.
think? What did you think about that scene, FD?
Nerve-wracking, but it's, for me, I knew what was going to happen, so it was a little disappointing because, it was a surprise.
You know what's going to happen, but you were watching the film for the third time.
No, even the first time, you knew that, he was going to that's one of the problems with the film. I mean, when you start piling these things up like this, you start going like, okay, you now know that Gooey's going to get fucked over because, he's going to jack up the bet. And, so that was a little bit false for me. What I find interesting was before the actual thing, when he gets the bad news about the appraisal, because that's a running theme throughout the whole thing. Remember, that's one of the obstacles throughout the whole thing. He can't really sell the ring to Kevin Garnett early on because it's due for appraisal, it's due for an auction. You know what I mean?
Wait, sorry, you said ring. You didn't mean ring. You meant the uncut opal.
The uncut opal. I'm sorry. Yes,
it's okay.
I'm sorry.
You don't have to apologize.
Yes, I do. Because the ring is another story.
No, sorry, you don't have to apologize to me, but you should apologize to the audience.
Yes. Anyhow, so but you're talking about the auction scene itself. That was a little bit disappointing because it was typical. But anyhow, what were you thinking?
The auction scene serves as a metaphor for Howard and his actions.
In what way? He said.
Well, again, everything Howard does to solve the situation, make it better, just makes things worse.
Yes.
And the auction scene just perfectly encapsulates that because he ends up buying back his own opal for way more than he could have sold it for, 30 minutes ago to Kevin Garnett. Kevin Garnett wants to pay him $175,000. He goes through this whole auction house charade with Gooey, ends up buying it with the auction house fees. Now he's probably buying it back for like $220,000.
You're right.
And then he's happy when he gets Kevin Garnett to come in and buy it for $175 again.
Minus 6%, by the way, remember?
Right. Yeah.
Because Damani it's $165.
Right, yes.
Yeah, he gets less and less.
Yeah.
Amazing.
Yeah. We were in the we talked about that entryway, having the antagonist trapped in the entryway. We've talked about Howard getting shot in the face. Spoiler alert. What did you think of the ending? And specific, when I say the ending, they get out of that foyer, and one of the thugs shoots Howard in the face.
Right, but to set this up, he does win super big, millions, right?
Yes.
On this ridiculous bet, this bet that, is all magic based, he and Kevin Garnett,
Yeah.
What did I think about it? It was so shocking.
Yes.
And what happens is it's great in a way, because you go, he finally wins. And, and Arno sort of understands. You see him going like, holy shit. He's sitting there, but, and the other guys, they're impatient, the two goons, and it was shocking to me. And I go, why? And a part of me was going like, now they're not going to get the money. And then I started thinking, wait a minute. Now they're going to get all the money. Because they're going to track down Julia. And they're going to get the jewels.
Yeah, interesting, because I hadn't gotten that far, and I think you're right. Now that you brought it to my attention and to the listeners' attention, I hadn't really.
Me neither.
Right, and so we're talking about the ending.
Right.
I saw this in the theater, and I don't remember the audience really, and maybe the theater wasn't that full, but I've read accounts that. People would just freak out at the end when Howard gets shot. The audience would just really.
I could see that.
Freak out.
I did. I gasped. Maybe it did. It took my. It was so unexpected. When you're expecting things to go wrong, this came completely out of the blue. I mean, why kill the person that owes money? I mean, why kill him? You're never going to get the money. But as I pointed out, you are going to get the money. You get all the money. But I like the ending, I must say.
Okay.
It was shocking and horrible. And plus, it's we like to talk, or you use the word bookends, and we do like that. It is a bookend because we get another case of fantastic voyage again, into the universe.
Which I don't like. And it was funny. It was fun. It's weird. So in Josh's new film, Marty Supreme, he uses the same technique to open that film. In that,
what do you mean?
It
opens macro.
Yeah, it opens with Marty, the title character, having sex with a woman in the storeroom of a shoe store. And then we cut to sperm, micro photography of sperm going towards an egg as the titles roll.
Jiggling around?
Going towards the egg, trying to tell us that he impregnated this woman.
Trying to tell us.
Yeah. Well,
showing us in detail.
Yeah. So, but again, the same friggin' technique he used here with the going in the stone, and apparently
he didn't do it from the point of view of the sperm. Swimming.
How do you know?
Because you said it's a slide. Anyhow, I got to see.
I never said it was a slide.
Oh, is it like Fantastic Voyagey again?
Yeah, you're in with
you're swimming with all the sperm.
Yes, you're swimming with the sperm, which is something I thought they should do at hotels in Hawaii. You get to swim with sperm instead of with dolphins.
Going to school, yes.
So he used that same technique again, and I heard them, the Safdie Brothers, talking about films they liked watching when they were younger. And one of them was, I forget, but opened with a sperm scene like that.
No, that's
another famous sperm scene.
No, who says we don't know our shit on They Shoot Films?
Yeah.
There's another film way back.
Wait, no, I remember. Yeah, I remember what film it is, FT.
What is it?
Yeah. So they had watched, they'd talked about Look Who's Talking 2, which was like an 80s comedy. And the title sequence starts with microphotographers sperm swimming towards an egg. And that's exactly what he did to open to open Marty Supreme. And obviously it was an homage, but I haven't heard anybody else talk about that before. Have you, FT?
Here's a first.
Yeah, that's why you got another first broken by They Shoot Films. FT.
Yes.
Do you have a favorite line from this film, Uncut Gems?
Yes.
Okay, what is it?
It's the shortest line in any movie ever.
Really? Because my favorite is also very short, so
Get out of here.
I wonder if we have the same
No,
line.
mine's shorter than yours, I can tell. You know what the line is?
What?
And it's so crazy. It made me laugh. And the line is when Howard says no. And where that comes from, he's going to practice, and that's the whole bit we talked about. What's it with you Jews and the basketball?
Yo, you got to calm your happy ass down.
Are we going inside the facility, or are we going to meet him out here?
Just chill the fuck out, man.
I hope we see Rondo in there. I'd love to tell him thank you for dropping all those dimes.
No, that's not. They busy. And what the fuck is it with you Jewish niggas in basketball anyway? Huh?
I'll have you know, the first 2 points scored in the NBA was a Jew.
Yeah. What, Fred Flintstein?
No. Ozzie Scheckman, 1946, played for the Knicks. There we go. Yeah, this is where the big boys play.
Fred Flintstein. And what I love about certain people in movies is that somebody will actually bother to answer that and go, no. I mean, I've heard people do this, in real life as well. Then he goes to mention on, Ozzie Scheckman in 1946. But it just cracks me up when people say something absurd like Fred Flintstone, and he goes, no. So I laughed.
That's
How about you?
That's your favorite line.
There's plenty of there's good lines. Yeah,
it's interesting because my line is also short, but not as short as yours, and that is the scene where Howard goes to put down the bet that Arno ends up canceling, and he goes to the restaurant where Gary the owner is the bookie, and he lays down this crazy bet. He's like, Garnett hits 2 and he has this number of rebounds and he has this, and he lays the whole thing out.
Parlay.
60-way parlay. And Gary said, that's the stupidest fucking bet I've ever heard. And Howard says, I disagree. And it's interesting. What's great about that is it really points out, in the world of this, let's say the David Mamet world, it's the line is in the script. It's perfectly written. It's so smart in the script. And Mamet famously, has the actors put as little spin on the ball as possible. Just try to say the lines, don't change the lines.
Right.
Here we have what's in the script is nothing. The line in the script is, I disagree. And it all comes from the performance and the way, Adam Sandler delivers the line.
Absolutely. And that highlights something about this. I am not, as you know, I'm an Adam Sandler anti-fan. I mean, I really don't like, anything, hardly anything that he's ever done. And here's a case where the comedian, so-called, because he's always a mean-spirited comedian for me, but here's a case where his work is fantastic. I really went like, wow, I respect the guy. Didn't P.T. Anderson did a film with him?
Yes, before this.
Punch Drunk Love.
Punch Drunk Love.
That was the first time where I said I like him. You know what I mean? He's okay, but as I said, there's always a mean streak. But in this thing...
Well, I think you say that's the first time, you're saying it's the first time you liked him because you're not a big fan of comedies, and Punch Drunk Love is not a comedic role, and this is not a comedic role.
No, right. But I will disagree. I am a fan of comedies. I just don't think he's in good comedies. They don't make me laugh. I mean, you and I have argued about this off and on.
Yeah, I'm not a huge Adam Sandler comedy fan, but Paul Thomas Anderson is, which is why he wanted Sandler for Punch Drunk Love. And the Safdies, they talk about how Sandler was their idol when they were growing up and just listened to his comedy albums on CD over and over again. So it's all subjective.
Yeah. Well, there's a subjective aspect.
Except for this podcast. There ain't nobody who doesn't like They Shoot Films.
I'm starting not to like it.
But you brought up Adam Sandler, so I feel like we should get into the performances since you brought it up. But first, it's time for our trivia question of the podcast.
Ding, 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 ding.
Are you ready, FT, for the trivia question?
I am. Ossie Shackman.
Yes, correct. No.
Ding.
The cast of Uncut Gems includes 1 Oscar winner and 3 Oscar nominees. Can you name them?
1 Oscar winner and 3 nominees.
Yes.
Really?
Can you name them?
No. Well, Judd Hirsch.
Correct. Judd Hirsch, extra points for what was he nominated for? He was nominated. He never won.
Way back for something, right?
Yes. What was it?
I don't know.
Ordinary People.
Right.
But he also, more recently, he was nominated again for the Steven Spielberg film, The Fabelmans. Okay, so you got 1. Judd Hirsch was a nominee. So you got 2 nominees left and 1 Oscar winner in this film.
And a winner?
Yes.
Just cut to the chase. I'm just be naming Bogosian and,
No, Bogosian never was nominated.
He never was, right?
Yeah.
Kevin Garnett.
No.
He should have been nominated. He was great.
Well, we're going to get there.
What, the young fellow Damani? Was he?
Yes, Lakeith Stanfield, who played Damani, was nominated for Judas and the Black Messiah. So you got 2.
Okay. Let's cut to the chase, my friend.
The winner was
the
Oscar winner who's in Uncut Gems is Tilda Swinton.
Wait, help me out here. You really baffled me.
Why?
Where in the hell is she in this movie?
She is the voice on the phone she plays the auction house manager on the phone is Tilda Swinton.
Jesus.
You didn't recognize her voice?
No.
She was good. She was good, right?
Yes, she was good.
Yeah.
But it could have been anybody. That's a low blow.
Okay. And the third nominee, the third Academy Award nominee who appeared in this film is The Weeknd. And he won for writing the music to the film 50 Shades of Grey.
There are 50 Shades of Grey? I didn't, yeah. I thought that was all made up. I didn't know there was such a, that style of music is not my favorite.
Okay, let's quickly talk about performances. And I think it was hard to put together a list of performances to discuss. I kept putting people down. And I was like, oh, shit, I forgot about this other person, because the performances in this film are just, there's so many great performances. Agree or disagree, FT?
Oh, absolutely. Everybody down the line. Just one weak one. I mean, you could just say everybody. One weak one was the improv that the assistant, the fellow when Howard is unwrapping, getting the gem, the opal out of the fish.
Yes.
There's a bad improv there. We just, you don't listen to me, man to man.
Right.
It could have been better. I mean, that guy was a little bit weak, but everybody else, forget about it.
I think part of what's going, and it's pretty amazing. There's so many of the actors are real people, first time actors. I believe that person you just mentioned was a real person, first non-actor.
A real person, yes.
Both of the goons, as we call them, were both real people that they pulled off the street. Yeah, that they pulled off the street.
No way.
Yeah.
I've seen that other guy. I thought I did. Wow. Okay.
Yeah. And the two guys who he pawns the ring, the brothers who he pawns the ring to, are non-actors. So
I believe that
there's tons of non-actors in this film. Eric Bogosian is a non-actor. No, I'm only kidding.
That's not nice.
Yeah, no, that was just a joke.
We're in trouble.
I think he's great in this. So
me too.
That was just a cruel joke.
That was a cruel joke.
Well, I was trying to do FT was trying to point out to the audience. Yes, I'm not only mean to FT, I'm also mean to Eric Bogosian.
To Eric.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm gonna call him up later. I call him Rick. Eric.
So you mentioned Sandler. I've got nothing more to say.
Yeah.
His performance is pretty revelatory. It's fantastic.
Yeah.
I'm going to let you go first. Who do you want to call out for the performance?
That's who I was going to call. I like Julia quite a bit.
Okay, Julia Fox,
and also Dina, his wife. I liked her. Her work.
No, I thought so. She we're talking about Idina Menzel, who
yes,
I thought she was fantastic, and again, everybody was perfectly cast.
Yes.
Being from New Jersey, growing up in the suburbs as where Howard lived, she definitely played like a woman that I would know from New Jersey, and again, I thought her performance was fantastic.
Her type, was perfect casting, and she's great. The daughter was also great in a very short scene.
Yeah.
Being like so impatient, and spoiled. Yeah.
Lakeith Stanfield.
And who's that? Is that the Damani character?
Yep.
Yes. He was great.
Yeah.
It was just really, again, when you do the Cassavetes style, you know what I mean? It is just, it brings out the best. It really does. Everybody felt so loose and with their work and their lines, what I mean?
Except for Eric Bogosian, which worked to great effect. The fact that Bogosian did seem uptight, because again, I think he was playing a character who I think was uncomfortable in the role he was playing. He didn't. Again, my take is Arno was not a heavy. Arno was not somebody who wanted to hurt somebody, but was forced into it. So the uncomfortable, him playing in an environment where he wasn't feeling comfortable, worked for him. Now let's talk about Kevin Garnett, who, if I'm not mistaken, is a basketball player.
Yeah. Yes. Famous, great ball player, really great ball player. Another one of those guys that was probably 7 feet tall that moved really well and early. There's a lot of them now, but he was. I wasn't watching a whole lot of ball back then. I mean, so, I don't know much about him except I've been watching some,
So had you watched the games that are, the backbone of this movie?
No.
And again, interesting should be said, as the Safdies tried to get different basketball players, Garnett was not the first pick. Once they had Garnett, then they had to go and pick the games, and that re-sculpted the script because it was scripted around these real games, and that's why they did a Passover scene, because that game that Garnett
was on Passover. Wow,
was right around Passover. Yeah,
perfect. Yeah.
What did you think of Garnett's performance?
It was great. I thought it was great. I thought I didn't think not really knowing him that well. I thought maybe it was an actor playing him. But it was, but he was playing, as Kevin Garnett as himself.
Yeah, no, and I think he did a great job. I think
great job.
The directors did a great job getting that performance from him. I guess the last one we'll talk about is Mike Francesa.
Who was Mike Francesa in this?
Well, you're from New York. Did you not ever hear the sports radio show Mike and the Mad Dog?
No, I was an Art Russ Jr. listener on the radio.
Yeah, so Mike Francesco was the sports radio host from Mike and the Mad Dog, and the Safdies cast him as Gary the Bookie in this film.
Oh, okay. Yeah, all right. Yeah.
I thought he did a great job as well.
Yes. Well, when you start, this section of the show saying everybody did a good job, all we're doing is saying how good a job everybody did.
Okay. Well, last we'll just call out Wayne Diamond, who played the high roller in the casino.
Yes.
And
I like that sympathetic character. He was so creepy.
Yes.
He was just so creepy coming on to her. Come on, you and I, we should go have a perfect dinner. And I did like that in the script, the writing, that it made him a good guy. That he wasn't a fucker, you know what I mean? Yeah. I really did. I like that.
So,
nice.
So final shout out to Wayne Diamond, who bonus points also has yet another name that is also the name of a gemstone.
True enough, as they say.
Yeah. Why don't we just last but not least touch on a question of Howard's arc.
Howard's arc.
Yes.
Where he takes two stones one by one. He takes a coin.
Yeah, no, not arc in the biblical sense, but in terms of the dramatic sense, the arc of his character. Your thought on Howard's arc?
I don't see an arc.
You don't see an arc?
I don't think he changed. I mean, he gets killed.
Yes, he goes from a living person to a dead person. Isn't that
There's
an arc?
You're right.
No, that is what's interesting here. He has no arc,
right?
Which goes against the grain of
it's a line
dramaturgy. Screenwriting, especially for a protagonist, to not change at all.
You're right.
But that's, I think, what is illuminating and interesting here. This is a story about a protagonist who refuses to change, who doesn't learn from experience, doesn't adapt, and that, again, causes his demise. He goes up against a world that requires adaptation and change.
Good point. Yep. Can you think of another movie where that's somebody that's relentless except for like Abe Lincoln, you know what I mean? Although I guess young Mr. Lincoln.
Well, again, he had an arc. He went from alive to dead as well.
Right, but he didn't, he was Honest Abe the whole time. Patton, George C. Scott.
Yeah. I think if you looked at Patton, the script by Francis Ford Coppola, I think you would see, and again, it's just such a basic requirement of screenwriting to have the character, and it's odd, in life or in that, you have somebody who just does, especially when confronted with such situations, not to change, not to adapt, but just keep doing, just keep plowing ahead, unchanging but again, I think that's the moral of the story.
Yes. Yep. And truly the gambling addiction. I mean, he just believes in all these superstitious signs. This is a sign that this is going to happen, And I did like the scene quite a bit, the pep talk scene, where he does compare, all his labor with Kevin Garnett right before he makes the big debt, where he gets the inspiration.
Yeah.
Look at this shit. The Sixers are supposed to win the game tonight. Doesn't that make you want to say, fuck you for doubting me? All the fucking hard work I do, all the fucking ass kicking and the dues I pay. You're not going to score on the big one? On game 7? Fuck these people, right? That's how you feel. I know you do. So look. Let's fucking bet on this. Let's bet on this shit. I saw your fucking conviction, your fucking honesty, and your fucking magic.
Howard, you're fucking crazy, man.
KG, you even understand how fucking great of a game you're gonna have tonight? I know it.
Listen.
We're a team tonight, KG. This is a fucking lie. It's a fucking feeling. We both have it. They don't know. You and I know. All right?
And that says a lot about the character there. Both of them, They were both being doubted at that time.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I mean, the interesting thing about Howard, he's driven to become rich. Everything he does is to make this money. But that compulsion, for compulsive gamblers, that drive to make money ends up usually with the opposite effect. They end up broke. And in Howard's stake, his drive to become somebody, to become rich, makes him a nobody, makes him a dead person.
The big nobody.
Yeah.
No bigger nobody than he.
But on that note, it's probably time for us to...
Speaking of endings.
Before we keep doing the same thing and bring about our own downfall, maybe it's time to stop.
No, I really want to stop now. Yes, absolutely.
All right, FT.
It was a good one, huh?
Good way to start off the year 2026. We'll be back every month here, the first Tuesday of every month. You can look for us, but life's hard enough as it is. You shouldn't have to look for us, so please hit subscribe, follow us, so the podcast will show up in your podcast player as soon as it comes out. And that's going to be the first Tuesday of every month. But you can also go to theyshootfilms.com to learn more, give us comments, give us criticisms, or tell us jokes, anything you want. I'm going to say goodnight, FT. Have a good one, and I'll be talking to you soon, my friend.
Indeed. You too, buddy.
They Shoot Films is a production of Film Symposium West. Produced by Anne-Marie De Palma. Studio announcer Roy Blumenfeld.